All praises to the Most High. Hey, beautiful people. So last year, the Most High made me keep the Passover. As you guys know, I don't celebrate any holidays. Not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not birthdays, not anything. And birthdays shouldn't be celebrated because it's vanity. And better is one's death than one's birth. Better is the day of one's death than the day of one's birth. And in your Bible, it tells you that. Job says it, and it's in Proverbs, because your birthday is not regarded in front of God. You understand? When you die and get your glorified body and live forever, that's when your spirit when you're living with God forever. That's regarded, not in your trial. The earth is a test, a trial and tribulation. Some fail the test and some pass the test. You're just passing through here, okay? So as I said, I don't celebrate any holidays for years. Okay. So, and I'm gonna go through the scriptures telling you the date, and then I'm gonna tell you when God made me keep it. So God's just truth forever, and the people in the earth have been doing things very wrong. All right, Exodus 12 and 17, and you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for this same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, which is April, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. So from the first month, from the 14th day to the 21st day. And that's when he made me keep it. He made me keep it from April 14th till April 21st. And I didn't know anything about Passover until I'm going to read it to you after. He gave me strict instructions not to walk in the way of these people. And he gave me strict instructions how to keep his Passover and what I needed to buy. So I'm going to get into, first I'm just going to go through the scriptures all the time telling you it's on the 14th day. So Numbers, so we had it in Exodus 12 and 17. Now we have it again in Numbers 28 and 16. And in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord. So 14th day, first month, 14th, first month, April, Passover of the Lord. Now Ezra 6 and 19, and the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. And remember, it finishes on the 21st, so 1 week exactly. Now, this is in the Apocrypha, the first book of Ezra's, 1 and 1. Josiah celebrated the Passover to the Lord in Jerusalem. He sacrificed the Passover lamb on the 14th day of the first month. Okay, the 14th day of the first month. So that's just me going through 1, 2, 3, 4 different places in the Bible where it tells you the 14th day until the 21st, okay? So this is, and 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eats that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. You shall eat nothing leavened in your habitations. You shall eat unleavened bread. So I just want to go into my testimony quickly. So yeah, this happened March 30th, 2019, last year. And we're going to talk about why the Passover is so important, because Christ is the last Passover. And remember, the spirit of death passed over the children of Israel in the first Passover. And I'm pretty sure the 3 days of darkness is coming to pass over the children of Israel again. All right. So he told me, read Exodus, the Passover. He's like, April 14th to April 21st, 1 week. Okay. When you break your fast, break it with bread, because bread strengthens man's heart. Fast in the day, eat in the night. Thou shalt eat flesh in the night with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. I asked him, what's bitter herbs? He said, bitter herbs is fruit, vegetables, and nuts. Nothing of food left for the next day. When you break your fast, eat bread first. Okay, yeah, I put it twice, sorry. three things that are unleavened bread. I asked him, I'm like, what's acceptable for unleavened bread? Because I'm a picky eater, he said Tortilla bread was acceptable, matzo crackers was acceptable, and roti was acceptable. And those are things that roti is something that Caribbean people make, so they always knew how to make flat bread. That was their Passover bread, okay? And tortillas is from, the Hispanic side. They're the ones who make that, so that was their flatbread that they use for Passover. So you understand that the children of Israel were always making their flatbread and pita bread and those things. So that's acceptable because unleavened bread is just bread without yeast. All right. He told me throw out the leaven out of your house. So any bread that had yeast in my house, I had to throw it out for the Passover. The first day of Passover, no work, because at that time I was working except to cook. And the seventh day, read. He's like reading, observing, and learning. So throughout Passover, you should be reading, observing, and learning, and praising God and singing to Him. We must learn the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Don't open your door. So at that, I had to learn the Feast of Unleavened Bread with God throughout this week. And the Passover was April 14th to the 21st, as it's 4 places in the Bible. And I had to buy a grill because the food that I prepared had to be made with fire. So I said, it's in the Bible, it says make with fire. He told me buy a grill. And I bought a grill, and we used to fast until 7 in the evening and cook on the grill the meat for flesh. And we used to eat unleavened bread with it and bitter herbs, which was nuts and, salad, vegetables. And we did that for 1 week straight, and it was a beautiful week with the Most High God. And I think He made me do it so I can share it to the world, so because they've been teaching the Passover wrong. And at that time, I was looking on YouTube and looking at people's Passover, and he said they're all doing it wrong. He's like, it's in the Bible. It tells you how to do it. They're making up their own dates. They're doing their own thing. Some are celebrating it for 1 day. Some are doing it for 2 days. Some are doing it from March. And he says it says the first month on the 14th day to the 21st. And it's simply there all over the Bible, and you guys are doing it your own way. That's what I'm saying. God is a God of truth. He's a covenant-keeping God. I didn't know nothing about Passover. Well, I knew about Passover